Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic Known Classics. This is episode number... No, not that one. Thank you. It is episode number... Come on. Thank you. 2472, Doubleshot 2366. Well, first we're discussing the last trade that collects issues from Thor, Volume 2, and also we're discussing a complete collection from Iron Man. And next time I talk about Iron Man, I'm discussing pretty much the rest of this run because there's not much left to discuss for that book. So, in the case of Thor, we're discussing the trade Gods and Men. Now, I was a little confused on the trades because this one and another one started with the same issue, but the ending issue was different. So I figured, just discuss the next one. Gods and Men collect issues 69 to 79 of Thor Volume 2. This whole storyline is an alternate continuity where Thor is the Lord of Earth. That's pretty much what this is. And it takes up pretty much the remainder of this run. Where, he's the ruler of Earth. He's not like a dictator, per se. He's also got a son with the Enchantress. Yep. Who, at one point, Thor basically stopped using Mjolnir. By the way, this is the first of two alternate future continuities established for Thor by a writer of the book. The other being other being Jason Aaron, who did King Thor. Which, of course, that continuity has since been undone thanks to, Thor's eye and arm being restored by Don Nicotis. This book has it where, aside from that he's ruler of Earth, he has someone with Enchantress who he's been sleeping with. Yeah, not Lady Sif, the Enchantress. And the son does something that Thor was shocked at the fact he could do this. He could pick up Mjolnir. Yep. And throughout this, it's a very good story arc. And by the end of it, Jake Olsen, who had been merged with Thor at the start of this, he becomes unmerged. And 79 was his last appearance of the duplicate Jake Olsen. And this is pretty much the end of Dan Jurgens' run. So Dan Jurgens ends it with having Thor go into alternate continuity for about a year. And then the book ends. The Dan Jurgens run ends. But the book managed to last for another 6 more issues before ending. The replacement writer basically kind of, in a way, because I think that possibly, at this point, I think maybe the sales may have been slipping on the book toward the end of the story, and they probably figured, okay, the book is not selling well under this story arc, so once we wrap this up, we're going to have the next one wrap up this run. That's presumably what happened. I'm guessing. I don't know, because I have not spoken to Dan Jurgens about this. But this is the end of Thor Volume 2. Final thoughts on this run? I'd say most of it is really good. I'd say it starts slowly going downhill. Not with Death of Odin. No, that's not where it's slowly downhill. I'd say with the arc came before that, that's where, in my opinion, where it starts sliding downhill, and then by the end, basically, it's done. Yep. But this definitely was a very good run for Thor. It is by far, here's a shocker, it was the longest run for Thor for years. Yeah, 85 issues. The JMS run was not this long. The JMS was 12 issues, plus I think it was 600 to about 605, I believe it was, because of the triple digit numbering. The next time we had number 1 was the Mad Fraction. His was 25 issues, that run. As Mad Fraction, we had Jason Aaron. Now, under Jason Aaron, you might be asking, okay, so was there any book even go past 30 issues for Thor after this? Not really. Jason Aaron himself never had a run to reach 30 issues. I mean, God of Thunder was 25 issues. Actually, my was 22 issues. God of Thunder was 25. The relaunch was 8 issues. The book that came right after Secret Wars. That was 23 issues, I remember quickly. And then the run after that was 14 issues. And then came Don Nicotis' run, which was 35 issues. But here's the thing. He didn't write the whole run because the guy had to leave because he got into a car accident. But that run was the longest volume for Thor since Volume 2. Because that volume surpassed every single previous volume to date that wasn't a renumbering of the book. Yep. And that's pretty much what I'll discuss for Thor. So, what's next to discuss for Thor? Any miniseries he's got, and the Immortal Thor book. But the main Thor book, it's done. Next up we have is Iron Man by Mike Grell, the collection. Which, this is basically 20 issues. 50 to 69. Yes, Mike Grell is your writer for these issues. Yep. Now, fun fact. This was the only other trade ever released for this run aside from Disassembled. Yeah, pretty much the opening issue is just a standalone issue. We have a character named Ashe Azar, who first appeared in issue 50, who apparently dies in the appearance, but she's around. She comes back for a few more issues even after this. 50 is just a giant size issue, but it has one artist on it, but yeah, 50. Now, 51 to basically, let's see, where is this arc end with? Was it 52? Okay, 50 and 52 was a two-part, and it was Jane Doe. Where mostly put basically, it just deals with somebody about a murder investigation. Yep. 53. 53 begins the Book of 10 Rings story. And this is basically 3 issues, which deals with the return of Mandarin's son. And the finale for the storyline is Iron Man 400. They acknowledge it as 400. And is a double-sized issue. Yeah, well, it has a backup story in it. But yeah, it is acknowledged as the 400 issue for the series. Also, I believe this is the run. Yeah, this is the run they introduced. It was in this very story we introduced Mandarin's son, who after the story would appear again in issue 68, basically toward the end of this run. Yep, and then right after that we have the Sympathy for a Devil story arc, which basically has, well, a little bit of Tiberius Stone, Miguel O'Hara's grandfather. I think this may have been this. Let's see. Yeah, basically 50s and 58 will be his final issues in the book, because after this two-parter, after these 2 issues, he would never appear in the book ever again. Those are the Vadstone Corporation. Sympathy for a Devil is a 3-parter, so that's 56, wraps up 58. And after the story, Tiberius Stone would never. See, his next appearance will actually be in the opening issue of Hercules by Frank Thierry in 05, roughly about 3 years after this book, or after this arc ended. And then we have in Shining Armor, in Shining Iron. This is basically a 3-parter, kind of medieval style story arc, but really interesting what it is. It's basically 50 out of 61. Yep, it's a quick 3-parter, and well, they kill off a horse who appears here too. Yeah, and then basically, you always can't get. This is a quick 2-parter from 62 to 63. Where it was also, they have where Mike Grell has it where Friday Stark, who originally started as an android that became an AI. Yeah, she's pretty much a recurring character in this arc, in this run. Yeah, first issue 53, she's here into issue 65. Comes back for a couple more issues afterwards. And then she returns in Bendis' run for Iron Man. After this brief 2-part story arc, then we have Standoff, which I've discussed already. Moving on. 65 to 69, this is actually the finale for Mike Grell's very brief run for the book. Yeah, basically Iron Man's on the run for these issues. Yep. I love the covers. Michael Ryan, who does the cover, does a fantastic job. And 69 is the end of this very brief run. Yep. Ryan McCall becomes more of a prevalent character during this run. Yeah, it's like Mike Grell did a lot more with her than Kurt Busiek ever did. Yeah, and basically at this point in time, she's like a regular supporting character. Starting issue 55, and she's here until 69, pretty much the end of the run. Yeah, basically throughout this whole volume, this run is the only time she made a lot of appearances, because it was during this run she became more serious with Tony. And, well, then, of course, basically, not long after this run wrapped up, she appeared for 4 more issues of this whole run. Yeah. But this run is actually pretty good. It is surprisingly the longest run for the book. It's actually second longest, because I believe Kurt Busiek's was only 25 issues. This is the second longest. This is at 20 issues. There's no annuals. I don't know if there's any miniseries released by them. I don't think so, no. But this one was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And that's all I have to say about it. Just really good. Now, in the next review for this, when I talk about this book again, I'll be discussing issues 70 through 83. The last 14 issues of this run. The reason? Because I want to put this run behind me. I want to put the main Iron book behind me so I can move on to a different book. I've been reviewing Iron Man for quite a while. I love reviewing Iron Man, but it feels almost... It's not exactly long in the tooth per se reviewing Iron Man, because he's had great stories. It's just that basically that I feel like I need to review something else. Well, at least Thor I'm done with. Well, yeah, Thor I'm officially done with. Yeah, the only other review for Thor is just the current book and miniseries. Iron Man, once I wrap up this book, it's just miniseries and the current run. That's also to go for Thor, for Iron Man. Yep, so yeah, that's that particular view. Next up is Bleach. Okay, next view. Bye.